Freaking amazing. Our next person, I must apologize because last time she was here, I mispronounced her last name. Our next person is Chelsea Eimer.
Alright, the first one is called Humble Bumblebee. It's pretty short. The next one, not so much. Seems to be for trend tonight. Humble Bumblebee, why do you flit and fly, sit and spy, wash wide the limbs of the creaking tree? Do your wings make the wind? Spizz, spuzz, spit and sputter, sing songs of flicks and flutter. Do you know why for the willows bend? Humble Bumblebee, for whom much I have heard of bright eyes and yellow bird, when will you whisper huzz-buzz with me? And to whom it may concern, I hereby officially tender my resignation as an adult. I have decided I would like to again accept the responsibilities of a 6-year-old. I want to go to McDonald's and think that it's a 4-star restaurant. I want to sail sticks across a fresh mud puddle and make ripples with rocks. I want to think M&Ms are better than money because you can eat them. I want to play kickball during recess and paint with watercolors and art. I want to once again wonder why the sky is blue and what lies beyond it. I want to know love only as something to be felt with happiness, not sought after with distress. I want to lie under a big oak tree and run a lemonade stand with my friends on a hot summer's day. I want to return to a life that was simple, when all you knew were colors, addition tables, and simply nursery rhymes, but that didn't bother you. When all you knew was to be happy because you didn't know all the things, and that shouldn't make you worry or upset. I want to think that the world is fair, that everyone is honest and good. I want to believe that anything is possible. Somewhere in my youth, I matured, and I learned too much. I learned of nuclear weapons, war, prejudice, starvation, sex, broken hearts, and abused children. I learned of lies, unhappy marriages, suffering, illness, pain, death. I learned of a world where men left their families to go and fight for our country and returned only to end up living on the streets, begging for their next meal. I learned of a world where life meant nothing when stacked up against the bottom line. I learned of a world where children knew how to kill and enjoyed it. What happened to a time when we thought that everyone lived forever because we didn't grasp the concept of death? When we thought that the worst thing in the world was if someone took the jump rope from you or picked you last for kickball. When your only knowledge of love was the pretty girl on the playground who you stole kisses from. When we saw the world through the eyes of blissful ignorance, doubled by the feeling that everything, somehow, would always be okay. I want to be oblivious to the complexity of life and be overly excited by the little things once again. I want to believe in Santa, even though I never did. I want to return to a time when television was used to report the news or entertain, not to promote sex, violence, and deceit. I want to think that all our problems can be solved in 30 minutes, minus commercials. I want Saturday morning cartoons to be my idea of literary genius. I want to return to the days when I lived for each day, not dreading what I had to do on the next one. I remember being naive and thinking that everyone was happy because I was. I would walk on the beach and only think of the sand between my toes and the prettiest seashell I could find. I would spend my afternoons climbing trees and riding my bike. I never worried about the weather or about whether or not I was going to make the biggest mistake of my life or if this decision would ruin everything if I made the wrong choice. I didn't worry about time, bills, or where I was going to find the money to fix my car. I used to wonder what I was going to do or be when I grew up, not about what I'll do if all of this doesn't work out. I want to live a simple life again. I don't want my day to consist of computer crashes, mountains of paperwork, depressing news, how to survive more days in a month than there is money in the bank, doctor bills, gossip, illness, and loss of loved ones. I want to believe in the power of smiles, hugs, and a kind word, truth, justice, peace, dreams, true love, the power of imagination, mankind, and making angels in the snow. I want to be 6 again.
you, Chelsea. That was very pretty. Very pretty. Our next person is Laura Thacker. Laura Thacker, everyone.
Get it, girl. Get there. More clapping.
Hi. It's actually the first time I've been on stage since I've been Gypsy, so you guys are lucky to see this. I'm not the original. I have a poem by Charles Bukowski that, for those of you who were here last week, and by that I mean 2 weeks ago, Jimbo read his poem, and he talked about how somebody told him that he didn't look like a writer. And so it made me think of this poem by Charles Bukowski called So You Want to Be a Writer. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you're doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you're doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it's hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you're trying to like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never does roar out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or your parents, or to anybody at all, you're not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket, unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder, don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut, don't do it. When it is truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself, and it will keep on doing it until you die, or it dies in you. There is no other way, and there never was.
Debate has fucking destroyed it.
For the record, I totally look like a writer. Our next person is Shelton Birch.
All I can think of was